What up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review The Shy, Season 6, Episode 7. So if you haven't seen the 7th episode of Season 6 of The Shy, turn this video off right now. Go watch the episode, come back and watch this video. Dang, I just had a brain fart. But yeah, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's a simple and free way to support my channel. It literally takes, oh, excuse me, I just burped in the inside. Literally takes less than 4 seconds to do. So if you're spending 4 seconds watching me right now burp on the inside, then you can hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, because I don't only review The Shy, I review other shows. I just did the premiere of Baddies East on Zeus Network. And I got to do Power of Force after this. So I review a lot of other shows. I'm also not a public speaker, so I will tend to stutter. I'm definitely going to pause and regain my thoughts. Definitely look at my notes that I take throughout the show. Definitely gonna hear so 1,000 times. It is what it is. Anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. These are my thoughts and expressions and how I feel. I'm not biased. No one's paying me to do anything or say anything towards or against anyone. I usually have my big water bottle, but it's frozen right now, so I'm drinking a regular water. And yes, the top is off because I just did another review before this, like I said. So. And lastly, I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I'm going to grade this episode an A+ just because it's Pastor Stanley. R.I.P. Pastor Stanley. I was upset about Pastor Stanley. I knew it was coming, but it was just like, damn, man. We had to lose my man. So sudden. Not even so sudden, but we lost my man. So last chance, if you haven't seen episode 7 of season 6, The Shy, turn this video off right now. I'm about to spoil the entire episode. Okay, so the first scene is Papa, you know, he at the church on his knees at the altar. He's sobbing, bawling out. Poor Papa. Now, I had a prediction that Papa might, turn into a wild nigga and, go rogue because his father got killed by Duda's people. And Bakari was going to have to end up being the chill one to have to calm him down. But that didn't happen, so... That had nothing to do with anything. That was just one of my little predictions I thought might have happened, but it didn't. So it was the complete opposite, because Bakari walk up in the chop shop. Hey, Nook. Hey, Bakari be funny. She gonna leave me? If you watch my previous reviews of The Shy, you know I'll be talking about how Bakari love the hell out of that girl Lene. He always get emotional when he thinks she about to break up with him or something. So when he was in the car with her brother last episode, he was like, she gonna leave me? So Bakari is funny when he get emotional. He funny. He's like, ain't Nook. Pull his joint out on Nook. Nook and Zay sitting right there. Nook don't even flinch. He hitting his cigar. Bakari put the gun to him. I killed the nigga before. You think I won't do it to you? Nook like, Ronnie had his back turned. You ain't got the balls to kill a nigga like me. I mean, you ain't got the balls to shoot a nigga like me in the face. What's his name? Bakari was like, I thought we said family was off limits. Nick was like, then do it. So Nick was like, if you shoot me, he gonna shoot you. So Zay pulled his John out on Bakari. Bakari lowered his gun like, why you had to do it? Nick was like, because he was talking too much. And I saw people online speculating. I don't know if it's dry. I'm sorry. Because I'm trying not to wet lip the J and make it bleed. But anyway. I saw people online speculating about who killed the pastor. And I was like, why? They speculating. We all know it was Nook. I don't think he trusted Zay with that type of responsibility so head on. We just got introduced to Zay. I was like, I don't think it would be Zay. Like, we all knew it was Nook. I mean, when they sat in the back of the church, he was like, take care of it. Nook was like, say less. We all knew it was Nook. I don't know who was surprised, but I saw people speculating online about who it was. I was just like, no, we knew it was Nook. So Nook confirms it in this moment. Bakari like, why you do it? And Nook was like, because he was talking too much. Zay was like, we had to teach him a lesson. We had to send a message. talking like shit back there. So yeah, so he like so Nook confirms it in that moment. He like he was like a father to me. I mean Nook was like he was talking too much. This one Kari was like he was like a father to me. Nook was like, we your family. You can't trust nobody but us. I was like, when did we come to that? Acting like they raised them. Y'all just put them on last season at the end of the episode. At the end of the season. Y'all just put them on. So you know Nookie bossing up on Bakari. You ever pull a gun on me again, you won't live to tell the story, nigga. Da-da-da. Tell the Bakari, get the fuck out. Zay still holding the gun on him. He's like, I can kill him right now. Nook like, nah, don't do it. So Zay like, you sure? Nook like, if I wanted you to do something, nigga, I'd tell you. Even though Bakari was long gone, by the way, like, he was long gone. What you was gonna be shooting at? Nothing, nigga. And I get Bakari was super emotional, but I was like, nigga, you couldn't have thought you was gonna come in there and smoke Nook and walk out of there alive. With all them niggas in there. Because it wasn't just Zay in there, it was the other niggas in there. Duda wasn't around, surprisingly. But he knew to get his ass out of sight once that shit happened. So, we get this bro saying Kev and Jake, they come to check on Papa in the church. They like, you need anything? He's like, nah. He like, you want to be alone? He's like, yeah. They're like, all right, we love you. You know, we here for you and all that. Papa like, I know, I love y'all too. Da-da-da. So then Bakari comes in. Papa's like, what you want? What the fuck you want? Bakari's like, I'm hurting too, man. I'm hurting too. So Papa was like, I know one of your boys did it. Bakari started talking about something else. I never thought any of this would happen. Because he know exactly who did it. They should all know who did it. Who always beside Duda when he show up somewhere? Nook. Like I just said, we just got introduced to Zay, so I don't even count Zay when it comes to moves being made. So Bakari like, I never thought none of this would happen. And Papa was like, but it did. Now my dad is dead because he didn't do what Duda wanted him to do. And this when Bakari was like, man, if Pastor would have just washed the money, he'd still be alive. And Papa was like, oh, so it's my father's fault? It's my father's fault? Like, really? This nigga took you in. He like, it's my father's fault? Bakari like, no, I'm not saying that. Papa's like, my father was a nobleman and he got killed for it. Bakari was like, I love your father like he was my own. Papa was like, but he was my father. He wasn't yours. I was just like, damn, crush is a little hard. Poor little Bakari, but not poor little Bakari. Like, he be getting himself into this damn shit. He should have never started fucking with them at the end of season 5 when they approached him. He was like, all right, easy money, just let him know what's going on the streets. Easy money. Not so easy now. So, the news of Pastor Stanley's death has gotten out. And Pastor Stanley, I just realized I need to be more in the frame. More in the frame. Because I realized my last couple of reviews was kind of smudgy. So I need to be closer, whatever. So, of course, the news of Pastor Stanley's death has gotten out. Keisha's at the house packing up. She's like, I'm gone. Emma was like, oh, I thought you said relationships was about communication. You can't just leave without us talking. Keisha like, I told you I don't trust Duda. He's just all about getting what he wants, even if it means taking a life. She was like, Pastor Stanley warned us. And that sermon that had everybody scared to even do business with Duda. She was like, he warned us if we wasn't careful, Duda would take over. So poor little EJ, he come downstairs. What's going on? Because he hear Emmett and Keisha arguing. So they try to put on the front like, nothing's going on, man. Emmett sees Keisha with her bag. She's like, where you going, Keisha? He's like, where you going, Keisha? And was like, oh, she ain't going nowhere. To go back upstairs. I was like, nah, he want to know. So Keisha, you know, she's like, if I can't trust you to keep us safe, I'm not staying here. And Emma was like, what happened to us sticking around when things are uncomfortable? It's life or death. No, Keisha said, no, this is more than uncomfortable. It's life or death. So Emma like, I promise I'm not going to let nothing happen to you and the kids. So Keisha like, well, what if something happened to you? What I'm supposed to do? Emma ain't had no answer for that. He just like, I promise you, I'm gonna fix all this. Please don't leave. I can't lose you. That. He was like, just give me some time. And she was like, how much time? He was like, I don't know. She was like, that's not good enough. So Keisha decides she agrees to stay, but she says she's gonna sleep in the guest room. I feel like Emma should be doing that, but go off. Well, I guess I get it. I don't know. I still don't get it. So she agrees to stay in the guest room. She was like, anything else happens, she gone though. So as Emma takes her bags back upstairs, Keisha nut ass texts Nook like, can we talk? I'm like, what you need to talk to this murderer for? He the one killed the pastor. He the reason why you right here scared right now and trying to leave your house. I mean, he not the only reason, but you get it. So this is when Vic finally like gets real with Jake, has a real conversation with him. Remember at the men's session, he was like, I'm sorry I ain't been including you in the larger conversations in the house. So he finally opens up like and tells Jake some shit. Excuse me. So they having breakfast, and Vic's asking Jake how he doing with everything, you know, Pastor Stanley's death, Papa and all that. Jake like, why? And Vic like, I just want to see how you handling everything. And Jake was like, what did he say? Oh yeah, because Victor was like, it's not good to keep everything inside. And Jake was like, well, that's what you do. And Victor was like, I talk about stuff. And Jake was like, not with me though. So it's when they get back to that conversation about him not telling Jake stuff. And you know, Vic keeps saying it's because he protecting them and you not old enough to know what's going on, da da da. Jake was like, I don't need your protection. I need to know what the fuck going on. I thought my light was about to fall. So when Jake was like, when you first came back, you said, you asked me could I trust you, but you acting like you can't even trust me with shit. So this is when Vic stands up. He's like, okay, I'm about to just spill it all. Tells Jake about the situation with Q and dumping the baddie. And Jake kind of like was finishing the sentences, already knew what was going on. Because Vic was like, if it wasn't for Duda, I probably wouldn't even be in office. Jake was like, nah, bitches fuck with you and you fuck with the community. You would have got in office anyway. So Vic was like, I guess you knew more than I thought. Because Jake was like, oh, so it was a body in the trunk. You helped dump the body. So Vic was like, what you think I should do as far as like coming clean? And Jake was like, well, you know me, no snitching. He was like, plus, how you going to help the community from jail? Same thing Fatima was telling them. Quincy was telling them. So I think at this point, Vic is going to decide not to say nothing. Jake was like, you get locked up, we need you. We can't have you locked up. So Keisha goes to see Nook. I feel like this was totally unnecessary. This nigga can't stop Duda from doing nothing. So what was your point? What you want him to protect you and then he gonna lose his life? But she goes to see Nook and He asking her what's wrong. She like she's scared. He thinking somebody else threatening her whole time. Like, nigga, you the reason why she trying to run out of her house. And I'm just like, why are you even sitting here with him? This nigga killed the whole pastor. He's a fuck nigga now. Like, there's no hope for him now. He did that. And I don't know why this episode they trying to make it seem like we should be feeling sorry for Nook a little bit. I mean, I get it. He a soldier and the whole pawn situation. But it's just like no, this nigga killed the pastor. He strangled him at that. It wasn't even a gunshot. Like, no. We not fucking with that. So Keisha like, I know y'all working with Emmett. And look like you work for us. For us. So she like, him working for y'all is putting us in danger. So Nook was like, he just holding stuff for us and ain't gonna put y'all in no danger. Ain't no bullets gonna come y'all way. So Keisha like, I don't like the idea of us being in danger like that. And Nook like, it's just money. Nook like, you know I won't let nothing happen to you. And Keisha like, you already did. Talking about him not picking her up and her getting kidnapped. So he was like, I said I apologize for that. She was like, I don't want to have to hear you apologize no more. I was like, wait till you find out he the one killed that pastor. I don't know how you don't know already. So it looked like you need to have this type of conversation with your nigga. And Keisha was like, I did, but now I'm talking to you. So Nook like, what you expect me to do? And she's like, promise my family to be safe. And he's like, I can't make no promises I can't keep. So she like, well, I know you got dude's ear. He like, he don't listen to, and that's what we all know. Like, he don't listen to nobody. That nigga is ruthless and reckless. He don't listen to nobody. So this when Keisha try to grab his hand, grab Nook's hand, all sensual. I just want to know at the end of the day, you got my back. And Nook put his hand over hers. I do always. I'm just like, what is this? Are they about to make Keisha circle back? Like, I don't like that. I don't even like this situation. I don't even like the fact that she hit him up. But then she hit him with that. But you gotta have Emmett's back too. I thought that was funny. So the people at Vic's campaign headquarters, they going crazy. Vic and Quincy hold up in Vic's office. Vic keep looking out the shades like they can't see his ass. He like, the people are on edge. Quincy like, of course, the community leader's been murdered in his home. This is madness. This is people are scared. So Vic was like, okay, I want to. He suggests, what's it called? Putting together a candlelight visual for the pastor. He was like, no cameras, just for us. And I was like, I mean, that's simple as hell. I mean, you would think the family would do something like that, or the friends, the hood friends, whatever. But he a pastor, so I get why the mayor would do it. That makes sense. So Papa, he's sulking in the house, scrolling through family photos on his phone. King is there. She asked the same thing Kevin Jake asked. You need anything? No. You want to be alone? Yes. King starts to head out. She's like, call me if you need anything. He's like, all right. His tone, she ain't like his tone. So she's like, I know that you're grieving, but you don't have to make me feel like shit just because you do. So that's when Papa, he was like, you know, one of the last conversations I had with my dad was about you. And he didn't want us to be together. And King was like, why? And he was like, my father didn't think I was ready to handle that type of responsibility, talking about her child. He was like, and he was right. He said his father was right. So King storms out. And I was like, no offense to neither one of them, but they don't need to be with neither one of each other. Neither one of them need to be with each other. So Keisha's still seeing this therapist after Emmett done told her that dude, how you think we paying for the therapist and this is the day, and you talking about getting a maid. Or you talk about something. She said something about the money. When she found the money, he was like, how you think you paying for your therapy and you lost your job? Da, da, da. So she's still going to this therapist. I mean, I get it though. She having her problems, and this situation just arose with the pastor. So we seen the therapist before, and I found out her name in this episode, Dr. Kwame, because Nina said it when Nina meets up with them later. So she complained about Emmett, and this therapy session, I will have to tell you, it was so good. Like, you would think this is a real life person that real life getting like good therapy. This therapist was, the whole scene was good. The writing, it was like chef's kiss. So Keisha is basically like complaining about Emmett. She feel like he don't listen to her, all the works, this, that, and the third. So Dr. Kwame asked him, Keisha, have you talked to Emmett about it? Of course, Keisha's like, I talked to him. Ain't nothing changing. And plus, he just did something that violated my trust. I was like, oh, don't say too much. Can't trust these therapists. So Dr. Kwame, what's that? So Keisha, she hesitates a little bit. She's like, he brung something in our house that put our family in danger. So, Dr. Kwame, that's serious. So she's like, how are you guys handling that? So Keisha's like, well, I'm sleeping in the guest room until we resolve it. So this is when Dr. Kwame gets deep. She asked Keisha, you lived in a two-parent household? So Keisha was like, my parents divorced when I was super young. My dad died when I was a teen. And she was like, okay, sorry for your loss. But she says that we often mimic our parents' behaviors in our own relationships. So I was like, okay, I like where this is going. I like to hear that. Okay. So Keisha was like, I never saw my parents fight, so it was surprising for me when they split up, when they divorced. So Dr. Kwame was like, well, most parents try not to argue in front of their kids in fear of traumatizing them, but in actuality, it's good for kids to see their parents resolve conflict so they don't get anxious when it arises in their adult lives. And I was like, damn. Not saying you should argue in front of your kids, but damn. But like she said, it's good for the kids to see their parents resolve conflict, not just to keep seeing them go through conflict and not resolve it. But I was like, damn, okay. So they don't get anxious when it arises in their adult lives. I was like, that's crazy. So Keisha says, I remember my dad used to make all the decisions in the relationship, and him and my mom's relationship, and I didn't like that. My mom didn't have no say-so. So the therapist, Dr. Kwame, was like, that's why you feel so obligated to, what'd she say? Damn, I wrote it. That's why you need to feel like an equal in your relationship, because you want to take back the control that your mom didn't have. I was like, damn. She was just hitting her like, And Keisha was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. I was like, dang, this is a good therapy session scene. Like, I done seen shows where they do therapy sessions, the scenes be just, they just be there just to be there. But this one was good. So Keisha was like, I never thought about it like that. Like, am I doing too much? She started thinking like, dang, am I doing too much? Because I'm trying to take back the control my mother never had. So Dr. Kwame was like, well, you and Emma just need to get back on the same page and about decision making, especially when it comes to stuff that involves the family, the entire family. She said, but it'll be compromises. So this is when Keisha starts talking about her mom some more. She's like, my mom and my stepmom, her and Dre, argued all the time in front of us. And now she feels like her mom wants to take back the control of everything. Take control of everything. She feels like her mother wants to take control of everything. And Dr. Kwame was like, that's her making up for lost time. And I was just like, this session was bomb. This session was super bomb. So this is when Dr. Kwame suggests, like, maybe your mother should join us for a couple of sessions. So Keisha was like, oh, no, I'm good. I like this space to just be about me and my healing. So Dr. Kwame was like, well, I feel like the first person to break your heart was your mother, and you'll spend the rest of your life trying to mend it with broken relationships. I was like, damn. Kudos to Dr. Kwame and the whoever wrote that scene. I was like, kudos to them. Kudos to that therapy scene. The men's session scenes, them don't be good. Shout out to Lena Waithe. This don't be good. That's why I said A+. I should have said A+ also because of the therapy scene. Even the one with later with Nina gets good. But let me just go scene for scene because that's what I do. So Darnell and Emmett, they chilling, having drinks, toasting, rest in peace, Pastor Stanley. So Emmett tells Darnell about Keisha almost leaving the early in the morning. So Darnell like, what you do? Emmett was like, nothing. And Darnell was like, don't lie to me, boy. So Emmett was like, I'm just trying, man. I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do to make sure we good. So Darnell was like, even if it's illegal, huh? So Emmett was like, I ain't doing no illegal shit. I just deal with niggas that do illegal shit. So Darnell was like, I don't make it no better. So Emmett was like, well, Keisha wanted me to cut ties with Duda. And Darnell was like, that's why I've always been Team Keisha. And I feel like I heard him say I'm Team Tiff one time before, too. He funny. That's why I'm Team Keisha. So he was like, what you do to get Keisha to stay? So he was like, I told her I'm going to handle it. So Darnell was like, how you going to do that? He was like, Emma was like, I'm going to buy myself out. So Darnell was like, how much is that going to cost? Because you got to think about the house that he helped put down with all them suits and clothes he was getting for Emmett. The, what's it called? The car he got for Tiff. The, and then what's tied up in Smokey's? What's up with that? That's going to be crazy. You know Duda going to hit his head like to where Emmett ain't going to be able to afford it. So, you know, Darnell was like, how much is that going to cost? Emmett's like, I don't know. So Darnell like, you need to find out and we'll figure it out together. You know Darnell got his back like Kirk Crack. So we get this scene in the studio. Maisha's there in the booth ready to record. Gemma, she gets there late. So she's like, sorry, I was in another meeting. And Maisha was like, how you going to tell me to take this serious and you coming in late? So Gemma's like, I said I was sorry. They go back and forth a little bit. And what was funny, because the engineer was sitting down. Every time Gemma wanted to say something, she'd tap his shoulder so he could hit the button so she could talk. So she was like, I said I was sorry. I thought that was funny. They be funny going back and forth. So Maisha was like, who was the meeting with? And Jim was like, why? Maisha was like, I want to know. So Jim was like, it was with Bakari's sister, okay? And Maisha was like, why are you meeting with her? And Jim was like, because I want to sign her. I want to work with her or something like that. And Maisha was like, you ain't did shit with me. So how you going to try to sign somebody else to the roster? You ain't did shit with me. And how you going to add somebody else to the roster? So Gemma was like, managers can have multiple artists. You know, she got that from Tierra. So Maisha like, me and Bakari's sister on the same level. So Gemma was like, well, she's further along because her EP is almost done. So Maisha was like, how is it? And Gemma was like, I haven't heard it yet. She's sending it to me. She was like, can we please get some music done in the studio session that we're paying a fortune for? So, you know, Maisha ticked off now. She's like, yeah, play the beat. She was like, bitch, I've been rapping my ass off. She was like, Maisha, you should be out of the jail. You killing the beat so much. I was like, okay, go off, Maisha. She was going off. So this is not how I thought that the gun situation was going to happen between Deja and Rashad. I thought she was going to find him Johnson event and kick his ass out. But surprisingly, it didn't happen that way. So somebody tries to break in Deja and Rashad's place. They sleep on the couch. Rashad hears this, wakes up, goes in the vent, grabs the bag of guns, leaves it on the floor, grabs a bag, grabs a shotgun out the bag. Goes, busts in the kitchen and scares the robbers away with the shotgun. Wakes Deja up, of course. He comes back in there holding the gun. She's screaming like, she sees a bag of guns. She's like, you dealing drugs in my house? I was like, you see a bag of guns and you like, you dealing drugs in my house? I mean, yeah, that's something you could question too, but that wouldn't be my first question. If I saw a big ass bag of guns and I was like that type of woman, I would be like, what the fuck is that big ass bag of guns or something? I don't know. It was just like, you doing drugs at my house? So Rashad was like, nah, I left that life a long time ago. So Deja was like, apparently not. Look at, what is this big bag of guns? So Rashad was like, I'm just holding them for somebody. And Deja was like, who? And Rashad was like, I'd rather not say. They're so annoying when they be like, I'd rather not say. We all know who you're talking about. There's only one villain on this show right now. So you're like, who? Well, two now because Nook killed the pastor. So... So Deja was like, you get these guns out of my house right now. I mean, she said you get these guns out of my house or I'm going to have to ask you to leave. So Rashad was like, these guns just stopped whoever tried to rob this house. And she was like, but the guns ain't the reason they robbed the house. I mean, the guns ain't stopped them from robbing it either. Like, stopped them from trying to rob it. So Rashad was like, all right, first thing in the morning. Deja was like, no, you take them bitches out now. In the middle of the night. She was like, you keep anything else from me? And he hesitates. He was like, no. I guess because I was like, what else is he hiding from her? But I guess it's the lusting after Tiara thing still. I don't know. He need to get that up. He need to let that go because that girl is with Marcus, bonding with her daughter. You need to let that go, Rashad. I'm sorry. So here go Emmett again, coming to the damn, he at the club this time. Piping up, where Duda at? Where Duda at? Looking for Duda. Look like he in the meeting. Trying to stop Emmett. So he throws Emmett off like I talked to Keisha. So Emmett immediately, with what, nigga? So it looked like we had a conversation. She handled it already. He was like, she ain't tell you? And was like, nah, she ain't tell me. Nook calls Emmett silly and walks away. I was just like, I just threw Emmett off. So now, I mean, I'm kind of course, I don't want Nook and them to win, but I'm kind of glad Nook did that because Emmett keep going in there trying to pipe up on Duda. It's annoying. Like, chill out before he kill you. I like you, Emmett. I'm just like, stop trying to go in there and pipe up on Duda with no backup or nothing. Just go in there and be like, look, I need my price. I mean, he in a meeting, whatever. So we get to say, Vic sits down with Fatima's house mom and sister to basically tell him, like, I'm serious about Fatima. And do they think that she be interested in starting a family? They're like, well, you have to ask her. But they already know, because they was talking about it last time when we was introduced to their characters. Like, yeah, she wanted, that's her dream. Settle down, start a family. So they asking her, Fatima's mom asking, what you afraid of? You got some secret baby mama out there or something? And Vic's like, nah, I just got a criminal past. So Fatima's sister looks at Fatima's mother and was like, we all have a criminal past. And then looks back at Vic. I thought that was funny. He was like, but Fatima always follows her heart. So Fatima's mom was like, oh, every time I follow my heart got broken. She was like, just make sure you don't do that to my girl, to my baby. Vic was like, I won't. Because they was like, is there going to be wedding bills? He was like, it's wedding bills down the line soon. So we're going to see that. So then we get this next therapy session with Nina and Keisha. Nina joins the therapy session. And Dr. Kwame is on point again. So Nina's there, annoyed, of course. So Dr. Kwame's like, Nina, what's your frustration? So Nina's like, I just did my best to be a good mother. When they father left, I did it all with no help. And I'm just wondering how I'm sitting here being told I could have done better. She was like, I just want my kids to know that I'm not just their mother, I'm also human. And just because I'm a parent, that doesn't make me perfect, basically. So Keisha was like, I know that. It's not only about you supporting us financially, it's about you, what'd she say? About you being attentive to us. We needed your attention. So then it was like, you feel like you didn't get my attention? So Keisha was like, we got what was left of you when you got home from work. And I was like, okay. So then he was like, well, I'm sorry. There wasn't that much for me to give after dealing with my crazy job all day. So this is when Dr. Kwame tells Nina, pretend that Keisha is not your child and tell her a truth that you never told her. So Nina tells Keisha coming up, she thought that being a woman, a good daughter or whatever, was to settle down, get married, have kids or whatever. So Keisha was like, that's not what you wanted. And Nina was like, nobody cared what I wanted. So Keisha was like, what did you want? So Nina was like, I wanted to explore my the world, my sexuality. And she was like, I wanted to see what it was like to be alone. Am I forgetting about anything? Because this was a good therapy session too. So Keisha was like, well, why didn't you do all that? So Nina was like, well, I wanted to be a good daughter. And back then, that's what it meant. To have kids, have a husband, this, that, and the third. So she says, she's this is when Nina gets super real. She's like, to be honest, I never wanted to have kids and I never wanted to get married. So Keisha get all extra emotional. You never wanted us? Like she Bakari or something. You never wanted us? And it's just like, girl, that's not what she's saying. Before you even thought of, she was saying she didn't even want to get married or have kids. She just said she wanted to explore the world, but back then, that was the ideal good daughter, that standard. That's what she said. So Keisha's like, you didn't want us? And he was like, that's not what I said. So then she's like, she looks at Dr. Kwame. Dr. Kwame, back me up on this. They done kill me with that because every time she in a argument or she going back and forth with somebody, she was like, back me up on this. Like last episode when Kevin came to get him the news about LA. What's that on my, like something on my lip. Anyway, when Kevin came and gave him the news about LA, and she was like, Dre, back me up on this. Even though 5 minutes before she was like, Dre, respectfully stay out of this. So I just think Nina's hilarious. But she was like, Dr. Kwame, back me up on this. So Dr. Kwame was like, I've seen a lot of women being forced into motherhood. Whether societal or family, whether it be societal or family situation. So Nina was like, I love my kids. I'm not saying I don't love my kids. So Dr. Kwame was like, well, no one's doubting that. She was like, I want you guys to sit with what Nina has said. So Keisha was like, well, what does this mean? So Dr. Kwame was like, this is all about getting to the truth and making peace with it. So Keisha was like, how can I make peace with the fact that my mother didn't want me? And he was like, that's not what I said. So Dr. Kwame says the relationships between children and parents are rarely pristine. I didn't even know what pristine mean. I had to look that up. But the definition didn't make sense neither. So I was just like, I don't know. Maybe this is the word that was thrown in. I don't know. So she said we all have unhealed trauma that shows up in different ways, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's not supposed to be easy. This is where the healing begins at. So Keisha just looking so upset, like a sad puppy, like Bakari. When that's not even what your mother said. All she got from that session was that her mother didn't want her. So So then we get this emotional scene. Emma's helping Kevin pack up his place. He like, you nervous? Kev's like, no, I'm just excited. So Emma's like, we gonna miss you. And Kev's like, I'm gonna miss y'all too. He's telling Emma, because they've been together since season 1. And this is what really makes me think that he leaving the show, because I don't like that. I don't like that. They was in season 1, episode 1 together. His sister was under her bed. Under Emma's bed. I was just watching a couple of clips from the season 1. They were so widow. They were so widow. Emma didn't have none of this. But anyway, he's like, we're going to miss you. Kev was like, I miss y'all too. So, Kev gets to, we've been through a lot. You always been there for me. You going to always be my big bro. And was like, you trying to make me cry, man. Kev was like, no, it just all hit me that I'm leaving, man. I was like, yeah, it's hitting us too. And they trying to make sure it hit us. So he was like, you going to always be my little bro. If you need anything, call me. And they embrace. And I'm just like, oh, we really about to lose Kevin, man. I don't like that. I don't like that. So, I don't know what this is. Is this like the wake or something? But I don't know. But like the body's being viewed by a couple of family or whatever. Bakari's there. He crying over the body. This when Papa comes up. I guess he done calmed down a little bit. He loved you like a son. I was like, you were just saying he wasn't your father. He was my father. But I was like, okay. So he was like, he loved you like a son. And Bakari was like, he gone now. And Papa's like, he gone, but he here in spirit. So they joke about, what you think he would say if he was here right now? Papa's like, he'd be mad at me for not ironing my shirt. Bakari was like, he'd be mad at me for not having a towel on. So they embrace, like, he always wanted us to be our best selves. So Gemma and Jake, they listening to Britney's EP. Gemma, she said she fucking with it. Jake like, it sound like everything else on the radio. That's what he said about... No. No, he didn't say that. It was just a song playing and Gemma was like, this is what people into? But she said, Jake was like, it sound like everything else on the radio. He was like, you need to focus on Maisha. So Gemma was like, you saying that because you mean it or because you jealous? Because we all saw how Brittany was coming on to Gemma at that after graduation party at Kevin's house. So Jake was like, I ain't jealous of no girl. I see how Jake like to switch it up, because when he with his man or with his brother or whatever, he be like, bitches, that bitch. But when he with Gemma, I ain't jealous of no girl. But if he was with his man, I ain't jealous of no bitch. But I see how he switch it up because he with his girl. I ain't jealous of no girl. So Gemma was like, well, I think Brittany has potential. Jake was like, we need to find somebody that's going to make you some money. Gemma was like, well, Brittany could do that in due time. And Jake was like, well, just make sure she just trying to work. And nothing else. So Rashad approaches Bakari at the funeral home, shoves the big ass bag of guns at his ass. Yeah, I can't hold these no more. Bakari was like, what you doing? I can't have these out on the street with me. Rashad was like, well, I can't have them at my crib no more. Baby, lucky your girl ain't kick you out, but she's still gonna have more questions for your ass when you get back in the house. And she might still kick you out. You might get back and your shit might be outside, brother. So Bakari was like, I get it. I ain't trying to fuck up your life. What you got going on. And Rashad was like, too late, nigga. And I was like, nigga, at the same time, you could have just not accepted the gun. Some too late. But go off, Rashad. He's like, you better not take that shit to the past the house. He'll turn over his grave. He knew what you was up to. I was like, damn. Bakari was like, I'm not, man. I'm not. Man, where he did take him, though. Ugh. But then we get to seeing Nook and Doodle, they playing chess, and Zay's like, when you gonna teach me, Doodle? Doodle's like, when I have time. He just think he's so big shit when I have time. Look like this a big boy game. Zay was like, well, maybe I teach myself. So dude was like, incentive. I like that. So Nick was like, huh, good luck. Makes a move on the board. And dude was like, see, you keep leaning on, you don't keep leaning on your pawns to do all your work for you. And before the scene, even with Sister Jackson, I was in my head like, nigga, that's what you doing. You got all these people around here doing your bidding for you, talking about something, don't use your pawns all the time. Nigga, that's exactly what you're doing. So he was like, yeah, don't have your pawns do all your work for you. He makes a move on the board. And Nook makes another move. It was like, better that than to sacrifice my queen. So dude was like, you supposed to sacrifice your queen. So Nook looking like, So he was like, dude was like, I can see your weakness from a mile away. He was like, sometimes you gotta sacrifice the ones you love to win the game. Ruthless ass nigga. He checkmates Nook. I'm just like, this nigga. This ruthless ass nigga. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice. Because Nook was trying to save the queen. I felt like in that case it was Keisha, even though that's Emmett girl. So Vic, he gets home from a long day at the office. Fatima's there with a candle and dinners for him, surprises him with that. So Vic asks him, you want to start a family together? Fatima, she's super flustered. Like, I dreamed about it. Never thought it would happen. So Vic was like, we can make it happen. She was like, it's a huge commitment. What about the FBI? And Vic was like, well, I'm not going to say shit. They don't know shit. And I'm not going to say shit. And I'm not going to give them nothing. So Fatima's like, well, you so busy. I don't want to be stuck raising a child by myself. And Vic was like, I'm not going to do that. I promise. So Fatima was like, we can keep talking about it. Okay. So Lene, she in her mirror brushing her hair. Who come through the window? Bakari. Come through her window. So mind you, she lived with Nina and Drake and they adopted her. So she's at Kevin's old house. Kevin and Keisha old house. So he come in there, Lene sees the big bag, so she assuming it's an overnight bag. You can't stay here. So Bakari like, this ain't no overnight bag. So Lene like, what is it then? Bakari's like, I need a favor. And Lene immediately, no. So I thought she was going to stand on it. I really did. But she young and in love, so Bakari was like, you don't even know what it is. You don't even know what the favor is, because she's saying no. So she's like, I don't need to know what it is. What's in the bag? So Bakari was like, does it matter? And she's like, yes, it matters. You asked me for a favor. So Bakari's like, I can't show you. And Lene like, well, it's not staying here then. So Bakari's like, if I show you what's in this bag, it's going to get you in trouble. So everybody's face did what Lene's face did. She was like, why would you bring something in my house that could get me in trouble? So Bakari's like, you think I'd be sitting here if I could find somewhere else? If I had somewhere else? And I'm just like, nigga, if you don't... It's already in a duffel bag. Put it in a big plastic bag and bury that shit somewhere. Stop trying to put people's life in danger and stuff with these damn bag of guns. He throwing me off. He was throwing me... Bakari been throwing me off, man. And to take him to that girl house after you just did all these promises to her brother and to her that you wouldn't put her in danger, and Nina, I was like, come on. I couldn't believe he did that. So he like, please, Lene. So she like, put him in my closet. I'm just like, no, Lene. She don't even know what it is. And you know Nina like just randomly go through stuff. That's how she found Kevin money when he was doing the game, when he first started doing the game and stuff. And she thought he was dealing drugs. And he was like, it's from gaming, and she didn't believe him because it was so much money. You know Nina like to go through stuff. She gonna find them guns, and Lene thinks she on punishment now. Huh. She gonna be on permanent punishment, and she ain't gonna be able to talk to Bakari no more. It's gonna be over for them. And Jamal gonna go to Bakari body for that. But I don't know, he a changed man, so we'll see. So we get this final scene, which is the funeral scene, past the Stanley service. It starts. Emmett and Keisha, they having a little tiff. He like, you ever go to Nook again, talk to Nook again, I'm leaving you. And Keisha was like, you giving me an ultimatum? Emmett was like, I'm just being real. Keisha was like, you can't tell me who I can't talk to. And Nook was like, Emmett was like, I can't when it come to him. And then what's so funny, people was walking in, they saw hugging and smiling, like, hey, Emmett and Keisha, hey. They grabbed each other like, hey, like they were so happy, like a happy couple. They had me cracking up. So Keisha was like, someone had to protect this family. And Emmett was like, that's what I'm doing. And Keisha was like, I can't tell, and walks off on him. So they just still having their problems. So this nigga Duda comes to the funeral, bruh. He comes to the funeral, bruh. Like, he always where he not supposed to be. For a nigga that's supposed to be laying low, he's everywhere he not supposed to be. From the graduation to the to Emmett's housewarming party to what else? Like, bruh, he just be there. The church services, like, I know all the welcome in church, but he be everywhere he ain't supposed to be, and now this nigga's at the funeral like he didn't orchestrate this man's death. So he walk up to the casket trying to give Sister Jackson, you know, Papa's mom, her condolences. She yelled at him, get out. He like, I don't know what you heard, but I didn't kill your husband. And she like, of course you didn't. You had one of your pawns do it for you. So Duda smirks and walks out. And you know, Nook, he overheard all this. So now that whole pawn thing that he said that when they was playing chess, all that's coming into perspective for Nook. You can see it all over his face. And I'm just like, nigga, you should have known. Like, what you think you doing? You doing this dirty bitten. Dirty work. I wanted to say dirty work, but I wanted to say bitten, so I ended up saying dirty bitten. So poor Papa, he gets up to the pulpit. He starts bawling. Kev and Jake go up there to console him. So he starts talking about his dad. And as he's talking about his dad, they're showing the cemetery scene of them burying the body. And they showing the candlelight visual that Victor put together. So, yeah, I wrote a few things that he said about his father. Because it was so sentimental. And I shed a tear. And they also showed Bakari watching the burial from a distance. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. So he talks about how he thought his dad would live forever. He thought his dad was invincible. And he would live forever. And it's all up to them. Do what time they have on this earth. Kenya comes in. So Kenya still came. I mean, of course he would come. Even though he was treating her like, talking to her like that. He said he always wanted his dad to be proud of him. And that was in the back of his mind when he made any decisions. And he said when he woke up this morning and got ready to say goodbye to his dad, he realized he had nobody to live for. He was like, the only person he wanted to impress and make proud, wanted him to be proud of him was his dad. And he challenged him to be better and noble all the time. And now he's gone. Papa was just so upset. He was like, now I got to be all those things that he wanted me to be for myself. Because he's not here. He said we all got to be there for ourselves. And make ourselves proud and write our own moral code and stop living by somebody else's. He said, I think my heart will always be broken. He said, but when he wants to break down, he going to remember to stand up not just for him, but for the man that his father raised him to be. He said, he wanted more time with his father, but only God's time is the right timing. And then he mentions the pocket watch that his father gave him. He said, I'm going to remember to never waste my time or anybody else's, and I promise to cherish every moment in life. And in doing so, I'll be honoring my father because he deserves to be honored. He was like, I love you, Dad. I'm going to miss you. And I see you on the other side. It was so sad. I was like, poor Papa. I'm glad it didn't go in the direction that I thought it was gonna go in, because I thought Papa was gonna like go rogue, and Bakari was gonna have to be the chill one and calm him down, but that totally didn't happen. But it was so sad though. But like I said, I grade this episode an A+ because it was so well orchestrated. Rest in peace to Pastor Stanley, and the therapy scenes was so on point. It was super good, and we felt that emotion from Bakari at the beginning. I'm just mad that he came in there like that. But it also made me mad with the Keisha and Nook scene too. So a lot of mixed feelings about this episode. But all in all, it was a great episode, and I still graded it A+. Thanks for watching this review. Oh, predictions for episodes to come. Somebody gotta take Duda out. People might be predicting that it's gonna be Nook now because he feel like he was a pawn in the scheme. But he knew what the fuck was going on. What else? Somebody gonna take Duda out. Nina gonna find them guns in Lene closet, and she gonna be on permanent punishment. She ain't gonna be able to see Bakari no more. Jamal, I feel like he gonna go to Bakari body when he find out. What else? What else did we see this episode? Kevin leaving. That's upsetting. And I hope Gemma don't do nothing with this damn girl. Those are my little predictions or whatever for episodes to come. Thanks for watching this review. And please like this review and subscribe to my channel, because I don't just review this show. I also review other shows. Like I got to do Power after this. I just finished doing Baddies East premiere. And I just finished reviewing the entire season of The Other Black Girl on Hulu. So I do a lot of other reviews. And please comment below what you thought of the episode, what you thought about what I talked about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, what you would grade the episode, all that good, bad stuff. Comment below. And I will see y'all in the next review. Peace.